Welcome to the BioMedWire Podcast, powered by IBN. This original audio production delivers market and sector insights, as well as exclusive interviews with innovative executives shaping the future in fast-moving industries, and may feature a client partner of IBN or one of the 60-plus investor-focused brands within IBN's dynamic brand portfolio. As a multifaceted financial news and publishing company, IBN leverages its extensive distribution network, utilizing multiple proprietary corporate communication tools to introduce both public and private companies to a vast and diverse audience of investors, consumers, influencers, journalists, and other targeted segments of the public. IBN may have received compensation to produce this audio content. Please be sure to read IBN's entire disclaimers for full disclosures. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the next revelatory episode of IBN's BioMedWire Podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to the BioMedWire Podcast, brought to you by the Investor Brand Network, where we shine a spotlight on some of the smartest and freshest plays out there in the market today, and today is no different. Today, we're going to be speaking with Quantum BioPharma Limited. The company's traded on the NASDAQ and the Canadian Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol QNTM. You can also find them on the Frankfurt Exchange under 0K91. We're going to be speaking with the co-founder and executive co-chairman of the company, Anthony J. Durkacz. But before I introduce you to Anthony, I want you to go to Investor Brand Network, click on the Clients tab. There, in alphabetical order, you will find the company's profile, investment highlights, recent news, everything to get in the know and do your due diligence on this company. But with that, Anthony, welcome to the show, and thanks for making time for us.
Thank you.
Great to have you here, Anthony. And I had an opportunity to go through your profile as well as the recent news for the company using that ticker symbol QNTM. But for those who may not be familiar with your company yet, if you would, please describe the company and the verticals that it operates in.
Sure. Quantum BioPharma is a biopharma company. We're focused on a drug candidate that is trying to address an issue that exists today for people that suffer from multiple sclerosis. And if you know anybody that has the disease, you will see that over time, there is a progression where they begin to lose control of parts of their body or sometimes their entire body. So what our main drug candidate focus, called Lucid-MS, is trying to reverse that damage that's been done to people's loss of mobility. And that is something that is not addressed in any drug or therapy today in the world. There's almost 3 million people that suffer from this debilitating disease. So that's our main focus. Our secondary focus, we ended up discovering and developing a product that helps make you sober from alcohol faster. And we ended up doing a study. We ended up having it peer reviewed. You can go on our website, you can see what the study was, but effectively this product, which we call Unbuzzed, is now commercially ready to launch. It can be purchased through our company or on Amazon in the United States today. And we're very excited. And what it does do, in a short period of time after taking this product, it speeds up your blood alcohol metabolism rate. And that's what it has been proven to do now in a clinical study. We're very excited. That company will be hopefully going public in the near future on its own. And Quantum is a very large shareholder and stakeholder in that company. Excuse me. And then third, we have a $700 million lawsuit out against two banks that's currently in the state of New York. You can read all about it also on our website. And we are suing them because we allege that they allowed on their trading platform some of their clients, or a client, we're still not sure, that enacted in what they call spoofing, which is an illegal activity that manipulates a stock. And we believe that it harmed a lot of our shareholders. And if you go to our website as well, we even have interviews with shareholders and how they suffered financial damages as shareholders.
Well, first off, thank you for the foundational update for your company, and also thank you for the update on those legal proceedings. As you know, all of us who operate within the markets today have seen there's a lot going on that needs to be regulated far more closely than it is today, and we feel these ebbs and flows. I tell you, it just seems like for years everything will be locked down, and then we'll have this laissez-faire attitude where people, the bad operators, they just come right in and take advantage of that. So
And
listen,
and, they, and Stuart, they take it's it's not everybody. The mom and pop investors cannot do this type of activity in trading. They do get stopped, right? And it is up to the brokers and the banks to gatekeep. They have to uphold the rules and the laws. It is actual law, both in Canada and the United States, right? And the people that end up being the recipients of the losses and the harm here, average investors. They're the ones that end up getting hurt the most. And it's a very small handful that reap the rewards.
yeah,
Nobody is allowed to manipulate stocks. That is legal,
yeah.
and that should never happen. And in many microcaps and small cap stocks that have any volume or liquidity, most people, like I believe I've seen it. I think most people would agree they've probably seen certain things that happen in trading, which we believe is very questionable. And we had no choice. We tried to reach out and we tried to ask questions and get answers as to why this type of activity was happening on our stock. We
Well,
had no other choice.
and one thing I noticed about your company as well in looking at your company prior to this interview is you've done a tremendous job of keeping your company tightly held. The cap structure for your company is such that, again, many companies over dilute themselves. Tell me, where are you currently standing at in your
Yeah,
shares?
we have approximately 6.5 million shares out today.
Okay. Yeah. Again, a tightly held company by my definition, anyways. Well, let's pivot here then. Because you do have a tremendous leadership team there at Quantum. And if you scroll down to the Investor Brand Network profile for the company, about a third of the way down the page, you'll find this leadership team in bios. But Anthony, you're our guest today. Let's start with you and let's talk about the team that you've been able to surround yourself with.
The team is everything. Today we have an incredible team. Zishan is the CEO. He's got a lot of market experience. He's a brilliant individual. Like if you ever talk to him or if you ever meet him, he has this ability to think outside the box incredibly. Dr. Kotra, who really has been the main driver behind Lucid-MS and the discovery and the research that was done at the University Health Network here in Canada, which is one of the largest research organizations in healthcare in North America. He's incredible. He's the recipient of the Julia Levy Award, which has only been issued, I believe, 7 times in history. That's an incredible award. He's also a professor at the University of Toronto still. He's an amazing, intelligent researcher. Dr. Kruczynski, who's running our trials for us right now, absolutely incredible. Stanford PhD. He is another incredible person to work with. Our finance team is highly experienced, both in finance and capital markets. So we're really excited about the team, and the team just gels so well. It's so important in companies that you have a team that works together, right? And this is an incredible team to work with.
Absolutely. Well said. So let's do a quick recap then for our viewers. We talked about the portfolio with Lucid-MS and as well as Unbuzzed, and I'm looking here at recovery as well. And we talked a little bit about those legal proceedings. So as you look back on 2026, what would you say are some of the milestones as you see them for the company that you've been able to achieve? And please feel free to go back into the end of 2025 as well.
We are so focused right now on working to move forward. We filed our IND for a phase 2 trial for MS patients. Why this is important is because this will be the first time that Lucid-MS would be taken by a patient or a person with MS. Our phase 1 trials focus on healthy people. That's the way that they're designed. This will be the very first time that we'll be able to see the reaction in a human being. and to see if there's any efficacy signals that show that what we've seen in all our animal models that were done over the past decade, that you can also see on our website, where we have a video of a mouse whose hind legs aren't working. And then after taking Lucid-MS over a certain period of time, how they're able to walk again. Now we want to take that and we want to test to see if humans with MS have that type of reaction, which would be incredible. It would be something that is completely unique. The market does not have a solution for that, and that would actually give people back their control. And that is what we're laser focused on. We are working with the FDA in regards to the IND and hoping that eventually we're going to get an okay to proceed from them to start the phase 2 trial.
Exciting times for you to add this company to your watch list using that ticker symbol again, QNTM. And we talked a little bit about the amount of people who are impacted by MS. So this is a solution that is very timely. Let's talk then a little bit about how you see your company operating here in 2026. You talked about being laser focused. Of course, that's important to get Lucid across the finish line. And in the FDA process, let's be honest, it's far from perfect as well, but it is pragmatic. You follow the steps, you make these milestones along the way. What would you like to see your company achieve here in 2026 and maybe even early 2027? What would be some of your operational goals?
Yeah, the phase 2 trial and to see if people are impacted that are suffering from the disease, what could be, completely life-changing for them. That is really our focus. On the Unbuzz front, we are supportive of them going public and doing a raise that would not be dilutive in any way to Quantum or its shareholders. And what it would actually open up is the opportunity to be able to access capital in a completely non-dilutive way, which is always the best capital, in my opinion, to access. And we will continue with our fight in the courts, hopefully to see justice.
Well, let's hit a recent headline because I think it really puts a nice book into this conversation. When you talk about your work with Massachusetts General Hospital, very big validation for you and your company. Quantum BioPharma reaches key midpoint milestone in groundbreaking imaging study with Massachusetts General Hospital. The subheadline: promising early data strengthens potential of novel PET technology to advance development of Lucid-MS for multiple sclerosis. A lot of times when people read a press release like this, they look at it and they kind of pull the biggest points out of it, missing the validation of who you've partnered with to do this. You can't walk into a hospital of this size and this history and just say, hey, look at us, we've got this, work with us. Clearly, them working with you validates the process and validates Lucid-MS as well. Just your color on this press release, if you will.
An incredible partner to work with, absolutely world leading in terms of technology. And this technology is to hopefully allow the medical community to better see and understand like really specific details that are happening where previous types of scans don't necessarily give the picture in enough detail, so that there could be mistakes or errors that happen just by the type of technology. With this movement in technology, this hopefully could be very, very helpful to a lot of people in so many ways when it comes to scanning.
Well, Anthony, I want to thank you. It's been a pleasure not only to meet you, but to speak with you for the very first time and get the building blocks and foundation for your company laid out so that we can speak to you again here in 2026 and see what your company has been able to achieve towards the goals you laid out for us here today. Anthony, any closing thoughts or comments that you'd like to leave for your existing shareholders or potential new shareholders? Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, we are working 110%. We are very excited, very, very hopeful that we see some sort of efficacy signal in humans. Ultimately, that's our intention and our goal. And that could be life-changing for a lot of people around the world. And it's something that very good. We talk to a lot of people and shareholders that also have MS today. And it's meaningful. There's a lot of still risks and challenges that have to be overcome in this type of work, but it's so exciting, and it would be something that would be wonderful if we get the results we're hoping for.
Well, once again, we're speaking with Anthony Durkacz. He's the co-founder, executive co-chairman of Quantum BioPharma Limited. That ticker symbol one last time, QNTM. Please add it to your watch list. Do your due diligence on this company, and please send us your questions here at the Investor Brand Network. For the BioMedWire Podcast, this is Stuart Smith saying thanks so much for tuning in.
The BioMedWire Podcast is an original content production powered by IBN, a multifaceted financial news and publishing company that delivers next-generation corporate communication solutions. Utilizing proprietary corporate communication tools such as news aggregation and syndication, social communication, and brand awareness techniques, among others, IBN introduces both public and private companies to diverse audiences to enhance reach and recognition. IBN may receive compensation for services and solutions provided to its client partners. You should assume that the owners, officers, and directors of IBN or financial analysts mentioned in this production may hold a position in and may intend to trade the securities in their own accounts. This production is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell any securities that may be mentioned in this production. The information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be or should it be construed as investment advice. As in all investments, investment in the featured companies carries inherent investment risk. Listeners should review the companies thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This production by IBN is not purported to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used in statements of fact have been obtained from featured companies and other sources but not verified nor guaranteed by IBN as to completeness and accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice. Please see IBN's full disclaimers and disclosures at www.ibn.fm/disclaimer. Music in this episode is by Infraction. For more, visit inaudio.org.